Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be playing over at Capital Casino in the 1-3 game. We buy in for $500. This vlog just covers one day, and it was a weird ass day indeed. The game was ultra juicy. Lots of action, lots of loose action, and I picked up some great hands to play. Some of them went well, some of them didn't. And at one stage, I got tilted, and I was definitely not playing my A game today. But I thought you would like to see it. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Here it comes. All right, I got a little bit of late start filming this because it's the very first hand of the day, and I was still setting up my camera. The player to my right is got about 1,200 in front of him, and from what I can tell, he's stuck piles because the player who left took a ton of chips with him. The player in the small blind has a very short stack and could be playing any two cards. The other player involved in the hand, he's irrelevant. He ended up folding on the flop. But there were two limpers, and I raised to $20. I get called by the player in the small blind and both the limpers. So we're going to go four ways to a flop with $83 in the center. And I got a piece of cheese. The reason I raced with Queen 10 here is I want to just be aggressive and kind of set the tone. Let them know that I'm here to play. Well, the dealer scoops in the chips, puts up a flop of ace, three, deuce with two spades. Absolutely nothing for me, but it really shouldn't hit these guys, so when it's checked me, I'm going to go ahead and stab for $30. I get a quick call from a player in the small blind. As I said, he can have any two cards here. Any two cards. And it doesn't have to be a pair. It doesn't even have to be a draw. Player to my right also calls, so just the three of us headed to the turn card, which is the ace of spades. It's a good card for my range, but now the small blind donks out for $20. What does this mean? Well, I think it means that he's trying to get a cheap draw. The only problem is I definitely think he doesn't have anything at this point, but he might be able to beat queen high. So I don't think I want to be raising. And then especially when the player to my right also puts in the call. Now, if he had anything good, he would have been raising at this point just to isolate him with this player. So I don't think he has anything at all either. So I got two players that have absolutely nothing, and I would love to be able just to raise and take it down, but the small blind will definitely call because he calls everything. So I'm just going to put in the call and hopefully steal it away on the river if I don't catch a queen or a 10. River card comes as jack. They both check rather quickly. I'm just going to bet $100. I don't think they have anything. Small blind quickly folds. Player to my right folds right afterwards, and we win this one with queen high. Well, a couple hands later, I pick up king, queen offsuit. There is a player that limped in front of me. I raised to $15. I get called in three spots. So we're going to end up going four ways to this flop with $61 in the center, and the flop comes out king, queen, 5, rainbow. Top two pair, good. The game's playing a little bit wild. The player to my left is a little bit more conservative. I bet out for $30, and he doesn't think that long before he decides to put in the call. So I'm thinking he might have a king in his hand. He might have some sort of draw, maybe jack 10. Everyone else folds out, and turn card comes is a jack. Now, I really should bet this, but I wanted to go for a check raise if he had a king. So I got a little stupid and checked it over to him, and he checks it back. So naturally, I think he has either a queen or maybe a jack 10 for a straight draw. River card comes, makes me a full house. Since I checked that before, maybe he'll think I don't have it. So I start to bet for $60, and he just quickly folds.
Yeah, you need to charge his draws. Bet that turn card every single time. If you get raised, then you have to make a decision, but you got to get value from his draws.
All right, I'm off to a good start. Here I pick up aces about a half hour later. Player opens for $15. I'm in the cutoff. I make it 40. The player in the small blind, who was the player to my right earlier, he makes it $80. The player who opens now decides he's going to fold, and naturally I'm going to put in another raise. He made it 80. I'm going to make it $240. He has me covered. He has a little over $1,000 in his stack. Hoping that he make a little play at me and we can get all the money in. And that's exactly what happens. He decides to go all in. Of course, I snap a call, and we're going to go see a run out with a $1,400 pot, and I got aces. Well, the flop comes Jack 8-5, rainbow, turns a 4, rivers, a king, and he shows pocket jacks. Oh, God, that sucks. Well, it's not the first time I've had aces cracked when in an all-in situation like that, so just got to shake it off, get back in there, and play the next pot, which happened to be pocket kings from under the gun. I raise to 15, get calls all over the place. Call here, call there. So we're going to go 4 ways to this flop with 64 in, and it comes out ace 10-9. Rainbow, not the ideal flop against 3 other opponents. I checked, the player in the middle of the table bets for $50. The next player folds. I got a player behind me. I got second pair. Not much room for improvement. I decided to let it go. So the other player, so this one's going to take it down with just the bet on the flop. Could I have had a better hand? Possibly. Was I going to pay to find out? Hell no. I did win a small pot with pocket nines when I was in the blinds. Just picked up $45 there. I then pick up ace queen offsuit from middle position. There was a limper. I raised to 15. I get called in 3 spots. So we're going to go 4 ways to this flop with $63 in the center. Flop comes out kind of bad for my hand. It's king 9 deuce with 2 diamonds. I don't have a diamond. I don't have a king. So it gets checked around. The player in the blind fires out for his remaining $42 in chips. Of course, I got top pair. I could raise to isolate, but if someone has a weaker ace, I kind of want to get some action from them on the side. The player in the cutoff does put in the call. He has a very deep stack. We see a river card, which is the 6 of diamonds, brings in the front door flush. So I just check it. He checked it back, and we win this one with a pair of aces. All right, I got to pick up a couple blinds here and there. This time I have king 10 offsuit in position, put in a raise. Everybody folds. It's a couple bucks. Again, I have queen 10 suited in this spot, put in a raise after some limpers, and they all fold. Here I won a small pot with ace queen. Flop came ace high, put in a bet, and everybody ended up folding after the flop. All right, this was kind of a strange hand. Everybody limped in. Well, not everybody. I think 5 players limped in, plus myself. I'm in the big blind with ace, queen of spades. Definitely going to be raising limpers like this, so I make it $40. I get called from the player who was the first limper, and then from the action player at the end of the table. So just the 3 of us are going to go see a flop with $132 in the center. Well, the flop comes out decent for my hand, king 9 deuce. I can represent a king, and plus I got the nut flush draw. I bet for $60. I'd be happy to take this one down now, but the first player puts in a very quick call. The next player ends up mucking, so it's just going to be the 2 of us, and the turn card comes as the beautiful 5 of spades. We make the nut flush. He has about 200 left in his stack. I figure I can go 2 streets to get it in, so I decided to bet half his remaining stack, which was $100. Well, he snap jams all in for his remaining chips. Of course, I naturally put in the call. We see a river card, which is the 2 of hearts. He turns over pocket aces, so he was trapping me, and I ended up beating him with ace queen suited. So I got aces beat, and I beat aces. So I guess the world is fair after all. $692 headed in my direction. Well, I'm still stuck a little bit. I got $900 in front of me, and I'm in for $1,000. This is 2 hands later. The player in the middle position is on Mega Tilt right now. He's playing a lot of hands and playing them very, very fast. I have pocket jacks on the button. He opens for $13. If he had a decent hand, he would have really raised a lot more. He gets called from the player on my right, and with him being on Mega Tilt, I decided to size up and go for a raise and make it $60. Well, some of you might say, well, why are you raising so much? You usually raise a little bit smaller than that. Yes, I normally do, but this player, I think I could have probably got away with raising him to $80. I mean, he is not going to be folding anything at all. So I make it 60. He puts in a quick call. The other player gets out of the way. Now he has about $350 remaining in his stack, and I'm thinking that any kind of safe flop, I'm just going to get it in because he is going to pay off with just about every pocket pair he has, every draw he has, maybe even something with like ace and with another big card. Flop comes 9-7-7. He checks it over to me. As I said, I'm just going to get it in against him. He will call with anything at this point. He snap calls right away and was very proud to show me 8-7 offsuit for flop 3 of a kind. It does stand up, and I end up losing this pot to this player, and it's part of a very frustrating day so far. So within 10 minutes, I go from being buried to almost even to being buried again. That's poker. Anyway, we're off to the next hand, which doesn't take long to happen. In fact, it was like 5 minutes later. I'm in the low jack with pocket aces. I raised to $20. I thought it was a $3 coming in, but someone made it a $6 straddle. I missized this thing. I should have went for at least $30, $35. Yeah, so anyway, everyone calls. Everyone and their brother calls. We end up going 5 ways to a flop with 103 in it. That comes 9-6-5 with 2 clubs and a spade. Player to my right bets $130. This is always a strong hand. I was thinking maybe he has a flush. Maybe my aces will stand up. I do have a backdoor nut flush draw.
Hey, you big dummy. Just shut up and fold this hand. You know it's no good. It's horrible. You got 3-4 players behind you? What the heck are you even thinking about? Just get rid of it, move on to the next hand. Guy doesn't bet 130 on a draw unless he's a total nut. This player isn't a total nut. Just fold.
Okay, this is definitely a fold. This is my tilted stage from the last hand. I ended up calling for the $130. Very bad play. In my mind, I was saying he could easily have a flush draw here, and I'll see what he does on the turn. Well, the turn pairs the top. I didn't think he would bet a 9 on the flop this fashion, so he either has pocket 6s or pocket 5s, or he has a flush draw. I can beat a flush draw. I can't beat pocket 5s or 6s. Maybe he's doing this with an overpair smaller than mine. It's possible, but not likely. As I said, this is my tilting off stage of the day. I call it off. It's a horrible call. Horrible play on my part. I messed up every aspect of this hand. He turns over pocket 5s, and of course, I'm no good. I'm trying to figure out whether I want to reload or not. I'm playing like crap. I'm catching a lot of cards. The game is still good. I mean, the action is still there. It's just I'm playing bad. I'm running bad. I'm thinking maybe I should just go home and take my licking.
Yeah, you should quit. You're playing like shit. You're running like shit. You're catching cards. You're better off just coming home, taking me for a walk. Bring one of those bags with you so you can pick up some shit too.
Well, the big blind was coming to me, and I was trying to make my decision before I got there, but I decided, okay, I'm going to stick around for another hour or so and see if something good can happen. I was planning on adding $500 to my stack once I got through the blinds. Of course, as soon as you make that kind of decision, you know something's going to happen. And of course, it did. I picked up pocket aces in the big blind. I didn't get this on camera because I was starting to pack up because I really felt like leaving. A player limps in for $3. Next player raises to 20. I get called in 2 spots. Comes back around to me. Of course, I'm going to be raising. I look like I'm totally tilted because basically I am. And I figured I'll get a lot of action. And the person who put in the $20 raise plays a fairly tight range. So I'm sure I'll get action from them. So I just jam all in for $168. It gets back around to the original raiser. They put in the call. We see a flop and a run out, as you can see from the board. That player happened to have pocket tens, and for the first time of the day, my aces stood up. And of course, I only had $168 in my stack, which makes me even more tilted than before. Well, one thing I can't say is that I haven't been dealt playable hands. Here I have pocket kings and the low jack. There's a $6 straddle from the player who's been very active. I raise to $30. I get called by the small blind who is a little bit more conservative. And of course, the player under gun position in the straddle calls. So the three of us are going to go see a flop with $93 in the center. I got about $380 in my stack at this time after winning that last hand with pocket aces. Flop comes out Queen 10 3 with 2 spades. I don't have a spade, so there's a more high likelihood that someone might have a flush draw. It's a pretty wet board. I decided to go for half pot for $45. First player folds. The player in the under the gun position puts in a quick call. So with 183 in the center, we get a blank 4 of diamonds. That's good for me. Now, if he has a queen, I don't think he's folding for any bet size. If he has a flush draw, I don't think he's folding for any bet size. So I decided to go a little bit on the bigger size, and he snap folds. So I'm guessing he didn't have much at all. Well, it's time for a $15 bomb pot. I got about $500 in front of me. I'm on the button, and as you can see, I have pocket tens. Of course, I haven't looked yet. Flop comes out. Ace 10 7, above average. I'm in position. Perfect chance to put in a bet here. And what do? I decided to check it to get a little trappy because the person at the end of the table with a huge stack has been bluffing his pants off. And I wanted him to do that. He bluffed the last bomb pot. Here he bets out for $50. The other player who's been super active also puts in the call for the 50. I'm going to end up raising, so I make it 150. This is too small. I should make it at least 200 to 225. As I said, I'm playing bad, and I'm just trying to make something happen by building a pot. Well, I get one player to call me. The original bettor folds out, and we see a beautiful 8 of diamonds on the river. Of course, this is the player that beat me with 8-7 offsuit. He checked in the dark, and I said, oh, please have 8-7 again. I jam. He picks up his card slowly and throws them in the muck. That's enough for one day. Well, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the vlog and of watching me tilt off some money, make bad plays, and of course, take Zeus for a walk and bring in a little plastic bag with me. For the month, we're a little over $1,000. For the year, we're somewhere in the middle of 10 and 20. Not the greatest. Still got 2.5 months left. Hopefully we can put a little rush on here sooner than later and make that total up to the, 30K mark. That would be nice. We're halfway there. Hey, that's not bad. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. I promise next week I will not be playing as bad as I did this week, and hopefully Zeus will have some kind words to say to me at that point. So until next week, good luck at the tables, and we'll see you back here soon.